Good evening and welcome to this round 11 of the HSO BTCC 1996 Championship. Tonight coming to you from the Thruxton circuit, where we again visit the fastest circuit in Britain. I think we visited Thruxton in round 6 or 7, at which Grégoire Goissin, if I am not entirely misremembering, won both the races. But ahead of the race, let's have a quick look at the standings as they are at the moment, where we can see that Peter Blom is enjoying a 24-point lead in his Honda Accord, ahead of Richard Coxon in the Renault. Jan Titz lines up third after having passed Greg Goisen in the last round at Alton Park, and Jan is driving the Audi. Greg himself in the Volvo stands on 147 points, and the Swede Jakob Fredriksson in the Vauxhall Vectra, after having driven one-offs in the first 2 or 3 rounds, sits on 107 points, and he will be racing tonight after having missed the Alton Park race. Further down the standings, Richard Wilkes is still in 6th in his Honda Accord, now on 95 points. David Yates, who, sadly isn't racing with us anymore, lies 7th on 59 points with more, how would you put that? This is the problem with not having English as your native language. With more better placed results than Yves Blasset, who lies on the same amount of points, and he is driving the BMW 320i. Matthias Weber is 9th in the Nissan Primera, and he stands on 55 points. So that's a nice little fight that we may be able to see during the evening between Yves and Matthias. And 10th is Richard Suanya, who sadly isn't racing with us either due to school commitments. I believe the 11th placed driver has 36 points, so it is possible that we'll have a new driver in the top 10 after this 11th round of the championship. And in the total cup for independents, Dave Simmons is in the lead here on 226 points in his Vauxhall Cavalier. Honza Mild, who has been struggling in the latter half of the championship, lies on 177 points. So unless Honza Mild beats Dave Simmons in the races tonight, I believe that Simmons will have sewn up the total cup championship, but we'll see at the end of tonight how the races has gone. And Honza is driving the Team Dynamics Ford Mondeo. Ivan Anderson in the Toyota Carina managed to pass Mick Chapman in the championship standing after Alton Park. He has a 3-point gap there. Anderson of Norway on 148 points, and Chapman of Great Britain on 145 points. And Chapman is driving the second Team Dynamics Ford. And 5th is the Vauxhall Cavalier of David Saber, also of Great Britain, and he stands on 126 points, and the way he's been going, we can probably assume that he'll get 1, maybe 2 pole positions this evening if he's put in a little bit of practice, and he could very well go up into 3rd in the championship if he gets a couple of wins. But looking down towards the circuit, let's just bring that up. There we go. We can see that one of the Hondas are flying through turn 1, or turning through turn 1 maybe I should say. But let's see if we can see, we have about 30 seconds left of this session, so let's ride on board with our current fastest driver, who I could only assume is Peter Blom, as he's the quicker of the Honda drivers. Apologies Richard Wilkes, but that's what's been proven during the season at least. And I also know that Richard Wilkes, according to himself, has been driving next year's mod. I'm not entirely sure if it's Super Touring mod or if it's a Formula car like the karts or the F1, or if something new is coming up, but I'm fairly sure we can all look forward to a really nice mod come next season. But here we are just jumping into qualifying. So we'll see who comes out of the pits. So wants to head out to the pits. It looks like it's one of the Hondas. And the Team Dynamics Ford Mondeo of Pascal Mikula. And here comes Jacob Thruxton, just flying past everyone else. He clearly doesn't mind the red light if there's a LED right on. I'm not entirely sure, but there should be at least. Let's see, Jacob Thruxton was 4th in the warm-up session, so let's follow him on his outlap and hot lap, and we can also have a look at the circuit. For those of you who may not know Thruxton or didn't watch the previous round that we raced here. And here is Church Turn, the fastest turn in Britain. A real hold on to your hat and hope that you come out the other end okay. And into the last chicane. And let's jump on board with him as we head into turn 1 of, if I can just find my previous little sheet paper here, which I apparently aren't able to do. Unfortunately. Listening to how he's driving, it sounds like he has a lot of throttle on, so should be all good. I will just be a bit unprofessional and quickly write down the names. I did work the whole day, so I hope you can forgive me for doing this. There we go, my apologies. So let's see, currently fastest is Peter Blom, to probably no one's surprise as so, but he had a 6/10th lead, which is somewhat surprising. I'd assumed everyone would be just a little bit closer than that. But it has been such that Peter Blom has been often the class of the field. He did struggle in the opening 2 rounds, but Greg, being a very friendly fellow, decided to help Peter after Peter asked him how he was able to make the car go as quickly as it did, and Peter quickly found his feet after that, and has been giving Greg a bit of a fight in the rounds Greg has been able to make, and been winning most of the races where Greg hasn't been participating. Let's see, this sounds like the Audi, and this indeed, that would be Jan Tits, I believe. Ooh, running a bit wide at church. Now up Woodham Hill into club, as one of the Mondeos are running wide. 16, that's Deshaven. All running wide again, coming out of Allard. Now into Campbell, Cobb and Seagrave as Deshaven touches the grass on the braking and spins off. Seagrave, oh, as he goes up on 2 wheels here. That's that lap ruin. Let's see, it looks like Grant Riddell, who is driving, I believe, the number 3 Volvo. Sorry, it's number 8 Volvo. Not entirely sure who was supposed to have driven that. I haven't quite kept up with all the drivers. It's of course our only Greek in the championship. I do apologize, but names is not my strong point. This is going to bug me. Anyway, we are watching Jakob Fredriksson, who is flying into the club chicane here. As Dave Simmons up ahead locks up his tires just a little bit. Let's have a quick look through the standings. As of right now, Fredriksson actually jumped up into 2nd, still 4/10 of Peter Blom though, but still doing a good job. Miroslav Havlik is doing a good job as well in that Porsche. He's definitely improved a lot in the last the last couple of events. And currently in the total cup, as Richard Coxon jumps up into 2nd overall there, there's David Saber sitting in 10th overall at the moment, doing a very nice job. And unfortunately, I'm just reading on the forums here that Hansa Mild is not able to make it this evening, so that, as long as Dave Simmons doesn't crash out, should secure him the Total Cup Championship. That's very unfortunate, but apparently some big storms has blown over the Czech Republic in the last couple of days, and Hansa is without internet. That's very unfortunate that we won't see a championship battle in the Total Cup, but it is what it is, unfortunately. And Grant Rudal is driving Nikos Taikopoulos Volvo for this event. That is what I was actually checking to find out. Let's see, still Peter Blom on pole, almost for full 4/10, still clear. Unfortunately, we are only 19 drivers in the server at the moment. I would have hoped that we would have been a few more. It seems like Matthias Weber is experiencing some kind of issue, specifically at the church turn. We have seen during the championship that the lack of ride height, maybe I should say, on these cars are causing them to flip a little bit, and it seems like Weber is experiencing that at church when going through there very quickly. And I also noticed that Miroslav Havlik is currently up into 4th. So he definitely is doing a fantastic job with that heavy and somewhat horsepower lacking Peugeot. He has a big lockup into club. He breaks off his lap. Richard Coxon is still on the lap though, coming up behind Michael Drechler, who I believe is driving number 20. That would be Peter Lavac's car. Peter Lavac unfortunately forgot about this race, so he doesn't want to race with a lack of practice. It looks like Michael Drechler has decided to jump in and at least fill up the grid a little bit more, which is nice to see. And Pascal Mikula actually is also a one-off driver for this event. He is jumping in for I believe it is Mick Chapman's Team Dynamics Ford. He is unable to make it tonight. As we can see, Drexler having a very loose moment going through the church. Not entirely surprising, considering it's 250k or thereabout going through there. I believe it is, at least. See, we can ride on board with Jan Tits here and see what kind of speed he carries. Okay, 250 was a bit much on my part, but 230 kph plus a couple of extra Ks, but he didn't make it, so 230, 225 is probably maximum speed you can carry through the church. That in Old English is about 125 miles per hour or something like that. Take or give 5 miles or something. Whereas Jan Tits understeers at Campbell and understeer into oversteer at Seagrave. Looks like that car is a bit of a handful. And Richard Wilkes looks to be up in 5th here. No, sorry, 6th. Seventh is Matthias Weber. 8th is Grant Riddle. 9th for Ray Riddle, his father. And David Saber still in the top 10 in his privately entered Mint Motorsport Cavalier. And Dave Simmons is hot on his heels in 11th overall. In his similarly spec'd Cavalier. And Pascal Mikula is 3rd in the total cup. Juha Bors lies 14th. Ivan Andersson 15th and 4th in total cup. 16th currently for Philippe Martinelli. Mikael Drexler 16th. 17th for Deschaven. 18th for Alan Forster. And Svenja Tits 19th. And currently, actually, Peter Lavac has made it into the server. So I'm not entirely sure which driver's car Mikael Drexler is driving then, because I don't think that's his own car. But anyway, the qualifying session is more or less over here. Doesn't look like anyone else is on a lap. So that means that Peter Blom takes another pole position. And on pole in the Total Cup race is David Saber once again. Only 14 thousandths of a second though ahead of Dave Simmons. It looks like those two, along with Pascal Mikula, could have a nice little fight there in the Total Cup. Okay, so Peter Lavac made a little bit of a mistake, but yeah. But anyway, while we wait for the race session to go on the way, we'll listen to some music for a moment, and when we get back we'll talk a little bit about the upcoming race and what we can expect of it. So talk to you in a couple of minutes time.
User joined your channel.
As we are joined by Pascal Mikula. Good evening, Pascal.
Hi, good evening.
Nice to see you back in the championship.
Thanks.
Are you looking forward to this race, or how goes your thoughts ahead of this race?
Oof, well, that's a good question. Well, I don't know. I qualified 12th, I think, yeah. I could have done better. I would have done better, but, you know, in the last lap, in the last turn, the car decided not to turn in at all. So I understeered into the chicane, and that screwed my lap up a little bit. But I think if I'm careful, I can actually manage to finish this race at last, because last time we were here, I didn't finish at all, because both times in the first lap I got involved in accidents. So I pretty much hope that this time it will be a better race for me.
I can understand that you want a better race, considering that happened in the last one. You're driving a Ford Mondeo yet again. Is that out of habit, or was it just because that was the only car available?
That was the first car that was available. That's Mick Chapman's car, and now that for example Grant Vidal has the Volvo 850, I'm kicking myself that I didn't wait until another car would become free. Because yeah, honestly, that Ford isn't the most powerful car at all. So I'm kinda really kicking myself that the Volvo is now gone too, and I can't switch. I couldn't switch to the Volvo before Grant took it.
Sounds great though. Always something positive.
At least I'm doing better in this in the independent, in the privateer Ford, than in the factory one. To be completely honest, for some reason, the fact that the car with less power suits me better on this track.
Well, it is sort of a handling circuit, so it's not entirely unheard of that a less powerful car has won this event.
Well, you wanna keep in mind that the Ford, that the independent Ford, you know, the one that I'm driving, also has less grip because of a different front part.
Fair enough.
Than the factory car, yeah.
Fair enough, but having a good run so far, so... So what do you think? Will you be battling for the win in the independence, or will you just be looking for a quiet race?
Battling for the win in the independent class, I wish. My goal is to stay in the race.
Okay. So I was just reading in the chat on the server and got a bit distracted. People talking about Plato and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on either.
Well, I did read watch out, I may have to punt you Plato style. Which I suppose is negative for Plato at least. So yeah. By the way, do you think anyone will be able to beat Peter tonight, or will he romp away to another victory and secure the championship?
Well, looking at the championship as you know, the excitement. I hope that someone beats them and leaves the championship open, but I haven't followed it at all since I bailed out. You know, when I bailed out of Thruxton last time, I haven't been following it at all, so I have no idea. I just hope that it stays interesting and exciting.
Well, Peter has a 14-point lead to Richard Coxon, and then another, I believe, 10 or so points to Jan Tits. And I believe it's 26 points or something to drive for, so in each event.
No. Yeah, as I said, as someone who doesn't know anything about the championship as of now, you know, I'm just a driver. I just came in because Mick isn't here. I hope that it still stays interesting.
Yeah. That sounds good. So, let's see, 3 minutes left to go until the race is underway. Ooh, Jan Tits having a bit of a moment through Club Chicane. So is Philippe Martinelli, although that's a different part of the circuit. Just looking to see if there's any small battles going on that one can show in the background. It looks like everyone is more or less running on their own. Let's see a bit of a graphical difference between the Peugeot and the Volvo. Svenja ran a bit wide through Church though. Oh, this ground gets really close and personal with Svenja there.
He almost overshoots it there. You kind of want to take into consideration the fact that those cars are pretty heavy to the front.
Indeed, and very little travel in the suspension.
Oh yeah, that suspension is gonna be the death of me.
Could be worse.
Well, at least I don't have those problems at church as Matthias Weber has.
Yeah, I read that. What was that all about?
I don't know. He's just clipping the curb. He's barely touching it, and the car just decides to flip over. Like, I don't know what's that about. What kind of bug that is, or what kind of suspension failure occurs there. But
Well,
I can tell you, I'm beating those curbs. I'm hitting those curbs so hard, and I have no problem whatsoever with the Ford.
Okay. Well, the thing with the suspension there is that it's probably bottoming out, and because the cars has such short suspension travel, it just bottoms out and hits the bodywork, and it's enough to flip it over.
Yeah,
more or less.
Probably. Okay. 5 seconds to go. I have no idea. It's just, standing start, right?
Yeah. One formation lap and then a standing start.
Oh Jesus. Well, front wheel drive for the win.
It's the only way forward. Oh, Svenja almost tips over. Anyway, it looks like everyone is more or less set and ready to go. You can see the whole field lining up on the grid, getting ready for the formation lap. Looks like everyone has made it. So let's have a look on the grid. So Peter Blom took the pole position and overall with a fantastic lap, almost 4/10 clear of everyone else. Closest to him was Richard Coxon in the Renault, with Jakob Fredriksson third in the Vauxhall. A good result for the Vauxhall. Although we can see he could struggle a little bit. Jan Tits lines up fourth, with Miroslav Havlik fifth. Richard Wilkes lines up sixth, with Matthias Weber seventh. Grant Riddell eighth, with his father Ray in ninth. David Saber on pole in the Total Cup and 10th overall. Dave Simmons got 11th and 2nd in Total Cup, with Pascal Mikula, who will be in the broadcast booth with us as a live driver, hopefully, for this event. Lines up 13th and 3rd in Total Cup. 4th was Juha Bors in the Works Ford Mondeo. 15th for Eivind Andersen, 4th in Total Cup. 15th for Philippe Martinelli, with Mikael Drexler 17th. 16th, my apologies. 17th for Frank de Chavannes, with Alan Forster 18th. Svenja Tits 19th. And Petr Lavac, without practice for this event, decides to start from the back of the grid. I don't think he set a time, so he'll be taking it slowly and speeding up as the event goes on. Well, let's see if we can ride on board where, yeah, we can just about see the lights here. So let's sit on board with Peter Blom as we wait for the lights and everyone to line up. Always a tense moment waiting for the start. And the lights are on. All lights are on. And the lights are out and the race is underway. Looks like a lot of wheel spin for Peter Blom. Richard Coxon is hugging him very tightly around outside, and Jan Tits goes around both of them, going through Allard and goes up into the lead. Jakob Fredriksson is also looking for a way past Peter Blom, and they make some slight contact going into Cobham Seagrave. Oh, as we have a roller, it looks like that is Juha Bors, is it? It is indeed, that's very unfortunate. We can see Mikael Drexler having had a spin as well. So that's very unfortunate, but it is what can happen if you hit the curbs too hard. It looks like Dave Simmons has gone up into the lead in the Total Cup. As Miroslav Havlik runs wide, going through Goodwood. And he'll drop a couple of positions there. And we can see a bit of a battle behind, and that's Ray Riddell, David Saber and Eivind Andersen. As Pascal Mikula is having a big moment, having lost his rear wing. So he's doing, I believe it's his no, sorry, that's my apologies, but Juha Bors has lost his rear wing either way, trying to survive as best he can as he goes past Frank de Chavannes there. Or trying to, he just breaks past. We can see Richard Coxon looking for a move going into turn 2 on Jan Tits, but he ain't able to make it past. And Matthias Weber is running wide. At least it looked like he was going to run wide, but he was able to hold on to it. So it looks like it's a freeway duel for the win here between Tits, Coxon and Blom. The top 3 in the championship, with Jakob Fredriksson trying to keep up, as I believe Grant Riddell ran wide and Matthias Weber made his way past as they went through Goodwood. Down through Church, Peter Blom runs wide. And Coxon will surely look for a move here. He tries to look up the inside, but no move coming of that. But they are very close. Peter Blom practically shoving Richard Coxon through, coming through Club Chicane then. He's up the inside, going through Allard. Bit of side-by-side contact. But both of them survive, and Coxon holds on to second place for the time being. Bit of a lock-up from Peter Blom, but he's able to get the car stopped and makes no contact. So it's the Fast and the Furious somewhat here. Jakob Thruxton ran wide, going through Seagrave, and through Noble we go. Looks like everyone has survived, but David Sabre has gotten up into the lead on the Total Cup, with Ray Riddle between him and Dave Simmons, with Miroslav Havlik trying to make his way back up the field after having run wide a couple of laps ago. Even Andersen lies in third as Pascal Mikula takes a bit of an orthodox line going through Church, but that's understandable without a rear wing. This is probably the least suitable track to lose your rear wing at, but hopefully he'll be okay. Frank Chaven is doing his best to keep up with him. A bit further behind, it looks like it's a freeway duel between Ues Svenja, hits the curbs hard, between Philippe Martinelli, Peter Lavac and Svenja Tits. And Svenja, oh dearie me, that was a bit optimistic. Dear me, that's a big hit for Peter Lavac into the barriers. His car badly damaged. Heavily dented BMW right here, but it looks like he's able to keep going. That was very unfortunate and a bit optimistic. I don't know whether he may have left too little room for Svenja, but let's have a quick look and see if we can find out what happened. It just looks like Svenja had a move up the inside. She had overlap, but there weren't quite enough room left by Peter, and it looks like he's way off the road here. I believe he will be retiring. He does indeed, as has Juha Boss, Adam Forster before him. But for the lead now, it's Peter Blom has made his way up into the lead while all of that has gone on, so presumably there's been a move on somewhere, and Richard Coxon and Jan Tis will have lost out because of that, and Peter Blom was able to take advantage. And unless they pass him very soon here, it is very possible that he'll just fly away. Although of course the draft could help Tits and Coxon. It looks like Coxon in the draft is very quick. As Blom runs wide, going through Church. That could open up for a bit of an opportunity, but it doesn't look like it. They are a bit too far back. Whereas Coxon decides to shortcut the last turn of the Club Chicane. Rather that than hit the curb, I believe he will have thought. Looks like Dave Simmons is driving a calm and calculated race here, but Øyvind Andersen and Pascal Mikula looks to be heading into a small little fight here with Philippe Martinelli a little bit further up the road. So let's have a quick look at this and see if a move comes within the lap here. Ooh! Oh, that's very unfortunate. Hopefully Pascal can right his car.
Nope.
So unfortunately Pascal Mikula is also out of this race, so that's very unfortunate. But again, that is what can happen as Richard Coxon goes for the move, going into club. And he is up into second position, ahead of Jan Tits now. As Jan shortcuts the jumps over the curbs very aggressively, going through club there, and tries to retake the position, but Coxon holds on to it and will now probably look to try and reel in Peter Blom and keep the championship alive, because he needs to finish ahead of Peter Blom, as does Jan Tits, to be fair, to keep the championship open for both of them. Otherwise it's only a championship between Coxon and Blom after the finish of this race. Whereas Blom got very sideways going into Goodwood. It looks like everyone is more or less spaced out here. Only really close battle right now is between Havlik and David Saber. Ray Riddell has gotten by David Saber while everything else has gone on. But here comes Miroslav Havlik looking up the inside, going down Brooklands and Woodham Hill, going into club. Oh, Saber brakes very late. Brakes around outside of Havlik and holds on to the position. Very impressive driving there. Nice defensive work. Havlik has a slight little look up the inside, going through Allard. Down into Campbell, again showing his nose. Saber outbrakes himself and run wide. And so does Havlik, going through Cobb, but at Seagrave he has secured a position. So that's a nice little pass there, very opportunistic, with Saber having a bit of trouble. Thruxton and Weber is running side by side, going through village. Down into church, Weber slots in behind. Very sensibly done, it's not the last lap yet. And it looks like Coxon has caught up to Peter Blom, so in race trim it looks like Coxon is a little bit quicker. At least in the draft, as Jan Tits shortcuts, so as Coxon runs wide onto the start-finish straight, loses a little bit of time and momentum. That'll hurt him all the way down to turn 2 at Campbell. Let's have a quick look at the standings after 8 laps. Peter Blom is still in the lead with Coxon still in second. Jan Tits is third with Fredriksson fourth. Weber has run into a little bit of trouble in the last chicane and lies fifth, with Wilkes close behind him in sixth. 7th for Grant Riddell and 8th for Ray Riddell. 9th for Miroslav Havlik, still in a fight with David Saber, who's 10th. 11th and second in the total cup for Dave Simmons, doing a nice, consistent and planned job here to secure the championship. 12th for Frank de Chaven, doing a good job in that Works Ford Mondeo. 13th for Felipe Martinelli, 14th for Eivind Andersen, and 15th for Svenja Tits. And Mikael Drexler is 16th, and I believe he is our last runner. He is indeed, with Mikula, Lavach, Forster and Bors currently out of this race.
I might also want to stress that concerning my retirement, I actually managed to get the car running pretty well without a rear wing. But I was attacking Oyvind in the last chicane, and he just closed the door on me and spun us around. And then in the chicane, it's just overturned. I'm frustrated, to say the least, to be honest.
That is very understandable, but hopefully the second race will reap some just rewards. Because usually it's one bad race and one good race, isn't it?
Well, I hope the second race, doesn't In the second race, nobody chops my rear wing off.
I'm sure everyone will be far more careful in the second race. It looks like Richard Coxon is able to keep up with Peter Blom at the moment, but Peter is able to hold him off pretty well. Peter ran a little bit wide in turn 2 at Campbell, but he gets a good line going through Seagrave. It's very impressive to see these cars go as quickly as they do during these races. Especially going through Church. Top 3 has flown through. Here comes Fredriksson. Next up should be Weber. No, it's Richard Wilkes, so he's gotten by Weber. That's the 2 Riddles. And here comes Havlik in 9th, so he is shaking off David Saber. Here comes Dave Simmons, so what has happened to Saber? Here comes Saber, so he's lost out a lot of time. It's very strange. Here comes Deschaven flying through, and Martinelli. And there should be a cup 2, maybe 3 more to go. Here comes Anderson. Here comes Tits, Svenja, and Drexler. So they are having a nice little battle at the back of the grid. It's good to see that there are some battles going on. Wilkes and Weber's battle as well for 5th and 6th, with Grant trying to catch up in 7th position to go for 5th. And as we know, the Nissan lacks a bit of engine, down a few horses, but the handling is very good, so that's why he's able to keep up with the quickest or second quickest car on the grid. But here comes Grant Riddle as well, so he is now caught up. And Riddle brakes around outside to avoid contact. And he tries a small cutback coming out of club, and he is up the inside of Matthias Weber here. It looks like he is taking the position going into Allard. He does indeed. So let's see if Grant can now do anything about Richard Wilkes' Honda in 5th position. OS Weber, I think Weber may have outbroke himself and made slight contact with Riddle there. Not entirely sure though. And that's very unfortunate. He went on the power earlier than Riddle could, and all of them is running wide. Riddle, both father and son and father Riddle, as did Matthias Weber. But this brings Havlik up into this little battle. So looks like, unfortunately, Frank Deschaven has also retired from this race. So that's both the Works Hondas out, unfortunately. It looks like Peter Blom has increased his gap at the front. So unless he makes a mistake, it would seem that he will take the win here, and that would mean that only Richard Coxon has a realistic chance of claiming the title and snatching it away from Peter Blom. It is very unfortunate that we aren't a few more... Oh, Jan Tits must have made a mistake, but because he's now behind Jakob Fredriksson. As he looks up the inside, or a bit of side-by-side contact, don't think he should take the position here. Because he did force Fredriksson wide and it gives him a bit of a bump. But he is slotting in behind, so he does back off there and tries to look at it again. He's up the inside here. Wild side for this curved straight going into turn 2. At Campbell, he's up the inside. Oh, a bit of contact. That's probably on Fredriksson by the looks of things. Luckily, Jan Tits was able to keep it on 2 wheels, and he's back past Jakob Fredriksson here. So let's see if Jakob can keep up and maybe give Jan Tits a run for 3rd place here. Oh, Fredriksson is understeering a lot going through Goodwood. Whereas Jan Tits runs a little bit wide, as does Fredriksson at Church. Always. And I do apologize for the slight breakup we had there. Clearly my internet connection isn't brilliant, but we can see that Brown Vidal is right behind Richard Wilkes here and going after him. But as I was saying about the Scandinavian flick, it was invented by Richard Rydell, who stayed around outside going into Campbell and let the guy on the inside slightly outbrake himself and do the cutback, and then stay around outside through the sort of wider turn at Cobb and then get a position at Seagrave. As Grant touches the grass going into Church, but and is looking up the outside, and he is braking very late. Oh, I think he may have it here. No, he outbrakes himself. He has the shortcut. He should. Yep, he's flashing his lights to tell Richard that he should go by, and that's very sporting of him, and that's really good to see. Let's have a quick look at the rest of the grid for now. Peter Blom is enjoying a 3.5 second lead over Richard Coxon, who then has another 10 seconds to Jakob Fredriksson and Jan Tits. 5th and 6th are together still, with Grant Riddell and Richard Wilkes, who are very close to contact going through Noble. And Ray Riddell and Matthias Weber is battling for 7th and 8th. With Miroslav Havlik 9th, Dave Simmons in 10th and in the lead in Total Cup, so if he's able to stay there for another 3 laps I think is left of this race, he will take the championship in the Total Cup. David Saber is doing his best to catch up, lying in 11th overall. Philip Martinelli is 12th, with Evan Anderson 13th. Mikael Drexler 14th. And Svenja Tits 15th. And she is being caught by Pet Blom here, but I don't think she will cause any issues. And here is the battle. Oh, as Jakob Fredriksson gives Jan Tits 2 hits. Well, that's very, very strange and unfortunate. And he ends up right in the middle of the battle between Wilkes, the father and son duo of Riddell, and Weber. So that looked very strange indeed, so let's see if we can get that on the replay. and whether something, I wonder if something may very well have happened earlier in the race that made Thruxton be a bit angry, maybe, but it could also be the same mistake that we saw Matthias Weber do earlier. Yeah, he just carried way too much speed going through there. Sort of the same mistake, but it looks the things that Matthias Weber made a couple of laps ago. As Grant Vidal is running wide, going through club, and that invites Jan Tits to fly by, going into Allard. But Grant is looking up the inside here. Oh, he's up the inside, a bit of side-by-side contact. But he is up the inside. He has to leave the room because Tits is still up the inside. Yep, and he does, but he is able to take the position, and Jan Tits runs wide, so here comes Ray Riddell looking up the inside, and he is defending from Matthias Weber. Side by side through Noble. Wow, that's very, very brave indeed. Ray just slots in ahead of Jan Tits, but he's going up the inside of his son here. Side by side, and he's passed, so Grant lost a lot of speed there. Oh, and Tits makes a bit of side by side contact with Vidal going down into Church. But he's up past the Volvo. And here's Matthias Weber trying to take advantage of this. This is a very hectic battle. Let's look at it from Miroslav Havlik's point of view. As Grant is very out very wide, and Tits outbreaks himself into the club chicane. When Grant has to shortcut the exit. When Tits just about slots in behind Grant Riddell there, and he's looking up the inside just a tiny bit on the younger Riddell there, but he ain't able to do anything with it. And Grant is looking. He's sold his father a dummy. Almost. He breaks way late, but he ain't able to do so. Make his way past, I should say. And Ray held onto the position, breaking very, very late as well. But I believe this is the final lap of the race. So we will unfortunately have to cut away from this battle in a few moments time. As Weber goes up the inside of Jan Tits here.
Yeah, just wanted to say that.
Yep. Oh, it's Grant Riddell runs wide. Wonder if this will invite Weber up the inside.
And Peter is going through the chicane right now.
It doesn't, but Peter Blom goes over the finish line and takes the win here.
He's win.
Yeah.
He wins.
A very nice win, and that means that only Richard Coxon has a chance in the championship. Oh, what's happened to Coxon? Coxon is way back. Whatever happened here? Wow, Jakob Thruxton takes second place here. With Coxon just rolling over the finish line in third. Richard Wilkes got fourth. Fifth for Ray Riddell. Sixth for Matthias Weber. Seventh for Miroslav Havlik. Eighth only for Grant Riddell, who was looking for fifth and was sitting in fifth for a while. Ninth for David Saber. Ninth for David Saber. Yeah, sorry, I'm going the wrong way, I think. No, I'm not actually. Wow, so ninth for Dave Simmons. 8th, sorry, for Dave Simmons, and a win in the Total Cup, so he takes the championship there. Very big congratulations to him. 9th for David Saber, 10th only for Grant Vidal, so he must have run into some massive issues in the club chicane on the final lap. 11th for Eivind Andersen, 12th for Philippe Martinelli, Mikael Rechler 13th, 14th for Jan Tits, so Jan Tits ran into even bigger issues. Wow.
Why was he in the pits? I have no idea.
It's very strange.
He lost I don't know, at least 5 positions only by being in the pits in the last lap. I don't know why and what happened.
Wow, that's very, very strange indeed. So 15th for his sister Svenja Tits, and she was our last finisher. So congratulations to Peter Blom on his win, and I believe
thank you.
He has indeed joined us, so good evening, Peter.
I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, I had time enough to come into the chat because I don't know what happened behind me, but should made some mistakes, I think.
Yeah, that looked very strange indeed. with him just dropping
Did he
back
have a
like that.
damaged- Yeah, did he had a damaged car because he also lost the place to Jakob.
It did look like he lost his car a bit strangely into the club chicane, so maybe he picked up a rear left puncture or something.
Okay.
Or
Well, I
no-
had a pretty. I made a bad start, and I lost 2 places. And after like 2 laps, I think Richard Coxon made a mistake in the fast right-hand corner, and I could pass him easily. And a lap later, I outdrag Jan because the Audi is not that fast on the straight. After that, I think Richard was in my gearbox for a few laps, but then he started to brake too late for the last chicane. And I managed to not make big mistakes, so quite an easy win this time for me.
It looked like you had a fairly calm drive
Yeah.
after the opening 6
And I
laps or something like that.
Yeah, and I had to conserve fuel in the last 2 laps because I had only 1 liter of fuel left.
Ooh,
So I'm putting
For 2 laps.
yeah, no 1 liter at 1 liter left on the finishing straight. I'm putting in a liter extra for the next race. So.
I think that may be a good idea.
Yeah.
Considering that situation.
I hope the second race will be fun as well.
I hope that will be better for some.
Yeah, it looked like if we get the kind of battle that was going on for the last 3 or 4 laps between the 4th placed and 9th placed cars, everyone will have everything going on for them, I think.
Honestly, I kind of hope that someone chops my rear wing off in the first turn again, because the car was handling actually quite well. Actually, I just don't want it to turn over in the first chicane. Yeah, I think Juha, hit me in back, which is kind of ironic because he's driving the factory Ford and I'm driving the independent one, and he just cut my rear wing off.
Oh, yeah, I saw you are leaving the server.
What? Oh, well, yeah, Juha went. Well, still, he hit me. He rolled over, and I had a little problem the first lap, getting the car to react to what I wanted to react to. But you know, with some oversteer and front wheel drive, that's actually quite fun in the turns.
Yeah, I'm going back to the server, guys. See you in the second race after that.
Yep. Good luck in the second
Yeah,
race,
bye-bye,
and
thank you.
again, congrats on your win.
Yeah, good luck, Pascal, you too, and you, Jonatan, with commentating.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
User disconnected from your channel.
So that was Peter Blom and Pascal Mikula having a quick chat with us during the race interval, but for now we'll take a bit of a moment to rest our voices and listen to some music while we wait for the second qualifying to get underway. And welcome back to the HSO BTCC 1996 Championship from Thruxton this evening, where the second qualifier section has just got underway and Jakob Thruxton again is first one on a hot lap. Trying to improve on his, I believe, third place in the first qualifying session, and probably hoping to better his second place finish as well in the first race with a win, but that'll be a tall order with Peter Blom driving, because he had a very comfortable race and win, as we could hear himself saying between the race and this qualifying session. So we can see Jakob Thruxton heading into the club chicane to finish his lap. So we can see several drivers heading through to finish their first flying laps. Everyone fairly condensed. You see, it looks like it's yet again Peter Blom being quickest at the moment, sitting in preliminary pole. So he's right behind Philippe Martinelli, who very sportingly gets out of Peter's way. You see hands. Sorry, go ahead, Pascal.
Oh, wait a second. April was just hunting me on my flying lap, and just after 30 he spun out. Ran wide and spun out because he bumped my rear.
Ah. That's...
Yeah.
That's a bit, But anyway, it's looking fairly close in the total cup qualifying at the moment. Well, at least between you, Anderson, and Saber, just over 2/10 separating you three. Dave Simmons has half a second on you all, but still looking fairly close there. Chauvin is having a slightly better qualifying session here, at least pace-wise. Position-wise, you have both just bumped him down a position, but hopefully he'll go out and set another time and be able to improve by a couple of tenths or something, and that would, well, let's say 4 tenths, and that would bump him up a couple to 3 positions. Richard Coxon is currently second, going a little bit quicker in this qualifying session than the previous one. My apologies, I just hit the mic there. And third at the moment is Jan Tits, with Matthias Weber actually in 4th place at the moment, so he's having a nice little qualifying session here. Looks like all the issues he was experiencing during practice has disappeared for the time being, which is nice to see. Well, Svenja runs wide, I believe that was Svenja at least, and she jumps out of the way to allow Matthias Weber to go by after her mistake. When he hits the curb very aggressively at Cobb and also at Seagrave, and it's enough to send him onto the grass, and that's this lap done. And Ray Riddle is currently in 5th, so he too is having a nice little qualifying session, and also drafting his teammate here, who is backing off, so he wasn't happy with his lap apparently. Looks like Richard Coxon, either that's a left foot brake, some left foot braking, or he is having a bit of a slightly spiking brake pedal. As Ray runs very deep, decides to shortcut it completely in the Campbell Cub Seagrave complex. Richard Wilkes is currently 6th with 7. Jacob Thruxton 8th, currently for Dave Simmons. So he's having a very nice qualifying session here, running deep into Campbell though. And Grant Riddle currently 9th, with Ivan Anderson 10th, 11th for Philippe Martinelli, 12th for David Saber, 13th for Pascal Mikula, 14th for Peter Lavach, 15th for I believe that's 20, isn't it, so Mikael Drexler, 17th currently for Frank Dechaven. No, sorry, that was Juha Bors. 18th for Frank Dechaven, who runs very deep at Allard, unfortunately. And 18th for Svenja Tits, and no, sorry, 19th that would be for Svenja Tits. But still Peter Blom in the lead here. Or in the lead, my apologies. On preliminary pole. Yeah, thank you, Pascal. I believe you can tell I've been working today. But anyway, we have about 6.5 minutes left of the qualifying session, and it's still about 2/10 between first and second, as Richard Wilkes jump up into 3rd. So he has completed a very nice lap here, as he locks his brake going into Campbell. It looks like he is backing off and looking for a bit of clean space on the track. As we can see, Pascal Mikula running a little bit wide behind him there. But no harm, no foul. And he again has some clear space, so he will probably do another lap after this one. And it looks like David Saber has now jumped up into pole position in the Total Cup race. And I believe we can now expect Dave Simmons to be in on the fighting as well, having taken it easy in the first race to secure the championship. He can now go hell for leather and not really mind about ending up with a retirement. Whereas the BMW up ahead of David here gets very loose. Presumably Drexler, because he had a couple of loose moments in the previous qualifying session as well. Saber ran a little bit deep in the club chicane himself. And a big lock-up from the BMW up ahead, as Saber runs a little bit deep. It's actually Peter Lavach up ahead by the looks of things. I think that was the number 22 I saw on his left-hand door. Actually the driver's side door on the BMWs. Compared to most of the other cars in the championship being right-hand drive, the BMWs, and I believe also the Renaults, being left-hand drives.
And Ford Mondeo is left-hand drive too.
My apologies. So the Ford I find that very strange. To be fair, because the Full Mondeos, as I understand it, is made in Great Britain, so that would be the least probable car to be left-hand drive.
I don't know, it is, so I'm not complaining.
Fair enough. That's why I find myself that the Renault and the BMW, which are the cars I've driven the most alongside the Volvo, is the easiest cars to drive because it has left-hand drive. With me being from Scandinavia and Sweden, we drive on the right side of the road, and that makes our cars left-hand drive. Which I'd assume is the same situation for you, Pascal. So with 2 minutes 45 left to run, it has closed up and at the front of the field, with Coxon now only 0.156 behind Peter Blom. Wilkes still in third, with Grant Rudal having jumped up to fourth in his Volvo. Jan Titz lies in fifth, with Matthias Weber sixth. Ray Rudal seventh, with Jakob Fredriksson eighth, Havlik ninth, and Saber in 10th. With Simmons 11th, Lavach 12th, Martinelli 13th, Juha Bors 14th, Pascal Mikula 15th, Eivind Andersen 16th, Mikael Drexler 17th, Frank Dechaven 18th, and Svenja Titz in 19th. And Frank and Svenja are very close on time, only 20 thousandths of a second between them, so hopefully they will be able to have a nice little fight between themselves, as we can see Frank on 2 wheels going through Noble, I think that was. No, sorry, this is Noble, so that would have been Cobb. My apologies for misidentifying the part of the circuit. Looks like most guys are pretty happy with their lap times, but Richard Coxon is still out on track trying to snatch pole from Peter Blom, so let's ride on board with him. Not a lift through Noble. A bit of feathering out of throttle going through Goodwood. It looks like he gets a pretty good run through there. Through Village, now into Church. Oh, takes a lot of the inside. Oh, and he runs just a little bit wide at Church. Up Brooklands and now into Woodham Hill. This little rise here. And then we brake for the club chicane. Oh, maybe just a little bit deep. Yep, he's a bit too deep. It takes a bit too much speed through there. So I don't think he will have improved. He actually backs off just a little bit, as to not to take advantage by the sound of things. So that means he doesn't snatch pole position. So Peter Blom, by the looks of things, will take pole position here. Grant Ridal is actually started a lap before the timer runs out, so he will probably be the last one running. So let's ride on board with him and see if he can improve on his 4th place position at the moment on the grid. Where he runs deep, runs wide out of Seagrave though. Takes a lot of the inside of Noble. A little bit of a lift if you compared it to when we were riding on board with Coxon. And he takes a lot of the inside at Goodwood. I believe that slows him down more than he gains, but if that's his line, then all is good. Down into Church, so he gets a bit of on the steer in the middle of it, runs a little bit wide. A lot of smoke up ahead, a lot of locked tires. When he goes up on 2 wheels going through club chicane, and he runs wide, so I don't think he will be able to improve with that. He doesn't indeed. Oh, he's actually down to 5th because Jan Tits has blasted in a 3rd place starting position lap here in the dying lights of this qualifying session. But Peter Blom takes pole position here with Dave Simmons taking the honors in the total cup. 4 hundredths of a second. 44 thousandths. Yeah. Ahead of David Saber.
That's close.
Yeah, it is indeed. And that was Dave's last lap as well when he blasted in the pole position now, according to what David Saber is saying now. So, yeah, some very close times in this qualifying session, which is very nice to see. A bit of a joke from Matthias Weber there, talking about his setup. Best setup change. A notice on my screen: do not touch that curb. And I suppose that's sort of a good setup change and strategy around here.
I should have put that kind of hint on my screen last Sunday at the Hungaroring. I because I spun and killed my engine when I was fighting David Jund in like lap 55 or something.
Oh yeah, I sort of remember that situation. Because yeah, I was the one who had to try and avoid hitting you and taking you completely out of the race before I even knew you had stalled the engine.
That didn't make any difference. The engine was out already. I think I just got confused and pressed the brake pedal instead of the clutch.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's very unfortunate indeed.
Yeah, that's just.
We could also note about that event that Grant Ridal took the win in a one-us drive for Ferrari at that Hungaroring F1 1991 championship. And there are a couple of vehicles open in that championship if anyone watching would be willing to give them a try and maybe join up. Next race is at Monza, I believe. Spa, sorry. Yeah, it's
Spa or Monza?
Yeah, it's Spa first and then it's Monza. I was complaining about my AGS being down on power and then I realized, oh yeah, it's not Monza yet. Because I don't think my 540 bhp Mada-tuned Cosworth will be any good at Monza.
Well, I hope I will be doing better at Monza than I did at, for example, Hockenheimring. You know, spinning out while in the lead.
Well, you sort of need to stop doing that while just having lapped me, you know.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate.
Because you did that there as well. You had just lapped me and then you span again.
Yeah. But at least I didn't stall the engine at that race.
That's very true indeed, and very fortunate. Because I think you still finished in the top 5, didn't you?
Finished in 3rd. I was like 3 seconds behind Juha Boss.
Oh, okay.
I was. Yeah, I had to fight back from 8th position or something.
Hmm. I know you flew by me the second time, like your car was on fire or something, so you were definitely trying that race.
That was probably after I spun, and I was, I was basically furious.
Indeed.
The rage fueled rage-fueled engine, just producing 100 horsepower more. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I myself was fuming at myself because I made a slight mistake at turn 1 at Hockenheim Ring and visited the inside wall. I was able to continue, but any chance of keeping up with Martin Lasina, my teammate, was out of the window. I finished a lap behind everyone else running, apart from the Modena Lamborghini of again, me and names. I apologize not remembering the name, but Modena Lamborghini was struggling even more than me at Hockenheim.
Bruno Chacon.
Oh yeah, it was. So yeah, Bruno Chacon was driving.
It's kind of funny because in the Hungaroring race, I don't know. In total, I didn't even keep count.
Attention grid, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
Race that I lapped Bruno Chacon. But no, okay, we're starting a race now, so.
Yeah, well, it's the Modena is a very difficult car to drive, so I don't blame him struggling in that car. But anyway, back to the action here tonight. So we can hear some horns ringing. Here at Thruxton in the 11th round of the 1996 BTCC Championship hosted by historic Simracing organization as they head on to their formation lap. So again, Peter Blom took pole position, his probably 10th or something pole position in this championship. Richard Coxon lines up second with Jan Titz third, Richard Wilkes fourth with Grant Rudall in the sole Volvo for this event in 5th, 6th for Matthias Weber, and 7th for Ray Redal, 8th for Jakob Fredriksson, and 9th for Miroslav Havlik, and then 10th overall in the first and pole in the total cup for Dave Simmons, 44 thousandths of a second ahead of 11th overall placed second in the total cup David Saber. So presumably they'll have a nice little battle there. 12th for Pascal Mikula, so Pascal blasted in a lap late in the session to end up right behind David Saber on the grid. 13th and still in the pits is Peter Lavac. That's very strange. I would have expected him to be on the grid, but hopefully he'll make the start. 14th for Philippe Martinelli and 15th for Juha Bos. Ivan Andersen 16th and 17th for Mikael Drexler, 18th for Frank Dechaven, and 19th and final spot on the grid for Svenja Titz. So everyone will be heading to the grid in a moment. As we can see, Peter Blom looks to have overshot his grid slot just a little bit. Manages to reverse and get back into his starting position. As we just wait for the lights, and here they are. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights are on, and the lights are out and the race is underway. As Jan Titz gets another brilliant start with his 4-wheel drive Audi, and he's up into the lead once again, but this time Peter Blom is holding on to second, and it looks like Richard Wilkes wants to follow him through, and he has done so, getting past Richard Coxon, going through Allard, and into the first turn. Oh, there's a lost wing for someone. Oh, in a rolling car. That's one of the Renaults. Oh, Coxon rolling. Oh my dear me. And that's a Renault wing, so that's Ray Ridal's wing laying on the track. As we can see, it looks like Coxon has actually been able to right his car, so he will keep going once again, but unless Peter Blom runs into trouble here, I think the championship may be over with Richard Coxon ending out of the race in the second turn, or more or less out of the race for the Peter Blom and Jan Titz runs very deep and wide at coming out of church. Here comes Grant Riddell, Dear me.
Jesus. Weber is
Oh, Weber is upside down as well.
Oh my goodness.
It looks like Peter Blom has held on to the lead. Jan Tits is looking for the lead, looking to retake the lead. But yeah, Matthias Weber is sadly still upside down. Let's quickly see if we can find out what happened. Oh, he was on the inside of everyone else. It looks like, he was on the inside of Ray Redal, and Ray Redal ended up sideways, and he hit Matthias Weber, and he ended up sideways, and then looks like he wasn't hit yet. It looks like Juha Boss, or if that was number 16 maybe, but one of the Fords unfortunately made contact with Matthias Weber down the straight there, and unfortunately Matthias Weber is out of the race. So that's so unfortunate. But Peter Blom is still in the lead here.
Sorry, Martinelli just gone.
Philip Martinelli is way off the track on the inside here.
In front of me something. Redal. Oh, Redal is heavy into the wall. And he's over the catch fence.
Oh, Philip Martinelli just touched the grass going through Goodwood. But let's quickly see if we can get to Ray Redal here.
Juha Boss is... Okay, sorry, my mistake. Juha Boss almost flipped.
So here we are. Ray Redal with a lot of damage. Oh, it's... Looks like that was Jakob Fredriksson going up the inside at Church, and that wasn't going to work, but Ray Redal is continuing here, soldiering on with his heavily damaged car. So it's good to see that he ain't giving up, but unfortunately he even lost out to his teammate here. It looks like Peter Lavac is finally out on track, so he may have had some real life stuff going on that made him miss the start, but he is running, a couple of laps down, but running nonetheless. But Peter Blom has the lead, and quite a big lead now, to Jan Tits. Grant Redal taking a lot of the insiders of Church, as does Richard Wilkes.
Boss and Anderson just with contact, and Boss is into the wall.
Oh, dear me.
That was some heavy stuff.
Let's see. It's very...
We gotta put a replay.
They are... Oh! Actually, Ivan Anderson and Juha Boss never made contact there. Juha Boss nudged the grass going through Goodwood and ended up sideways, just like Philippe Martinelli did, but Juha Boss tried to catch the car, but the car overgripped on him, and he ended up spinning the other way and out into the barriers. But he too is soldiering on with a heavily damaged car.
I saw Ivan off the track too, so I thought they contacted. I think Ivan was just trying to dodge him.
Yeah, would seem to be the case, because he was turning right as well, so... Yeah, just one of those unfortunate incidents. It looks like it's top second to fourth battling, and then there's a big gap to Miroslav Havlik in fifth. Dave Simmons is actually up in sixth here, leading in the total cup. Fredriksson is seventh, with David Saber eighth, ninth for Ivan Anderson, and 10th running together is Frank de Chaven and Mikael Drexler. So Frank having a very nice race here, where, as I say that, he overshoots the club chicane and has to shortcut it, as did Mikael Drexler right behind him, and Pascal Mikula is running behind them, trying to catch up and get into that fight. Behind him, Svenja Tits and Philippe Martinelli are running together, and then it's Richard Coxon trying to regain his positions and maybe score a point or two. And then it's Ray Redal trying to finish the race in his badly battered Renault. And out on track again is Juha Boss having...
Richard Wilkes is overturned. Sorry, but Richard
Oh dear
Wilkes
me.
is overturned.
Well, let's see, it's Jan Tits ran deep at Campbell and down into... Oh, he hit the curb and bounced out into Richard Wilkes, unfortunately. And Richard Wiggs is still upside down, so unfortunately he may not be able to right his car and will be out of this race. OS Ray Redal has finally retired his Renault, and Matthias Weber is also out of this race, as we mentioned earlier. But Peter Blom now enjoys a massive lead of, well, I say massive, but I didn't see them, but it's 3.4 seconds, so it's about the lead he had to Richard Coxon in the first race. I think he will be able to look after this lead from now on as he passes his teammate sitting upside down still on the inside of Seagrave, but there he looked like he retired there and then, unfortunately. But the battle for second and third is still on.
Oh Jesus. Must have it.
Oh, Miroslav Havlik in trouble here.
That was close. He was almost on the track there.
Oh, and we can see also Juha Bors off the track in the background, and he retires. See whatever happened to Havlik here. Looks like there may have been a screen freeze or something. As he goes through the turn, and yeah, I think he had a screen freeze. Oh dear me, he was very close to being collected by Dave Simmons there. But he is continuing. As Frank Dechaven heavily into the wall. And unfortunately his engine blows, so that's the other works Ford Mondeo out of this race. Let's see if we can find out. It looks like it's a Weber issue. He hits the inside curb here just a little bit and the car overturns and he flies out into the barriers. Very heavily into them and completely destroys the rear end of his Ford, and unfortunately his engine didn't like the G-forces in that crash either, and yeah, unfortunately Frank is out of this race.
Kind of interesting that all that stuff is always happening in front of me.
Well, it's just one of those things. As Jan Titz goes up the inside at Church and takes second position from Grant Riddle. Whereas he shortcuts, both of them shortcuts the last turn at Club Chicane. Jan Titz also took a lot of the inside curb in the left-hander there. As Grant is looking for the cutback, having a small look up the inside here. He doesn't go for it, he goes for the outside instead and tries to get a good run through this complex of turns. Titz runs a little bit deep in Cobb. My apologies, my voice telling me to have a sip of water, so hope that's okay with all of you watching. David Saber has actually taken the lead in the Total Cup in the meantime. So he is up into 6th position, I think this is. 5th actually now. Wow, so what has happened here? Something big must have happened somewhere. Well, of course we had the Havlik screen freeze, but something else must have happened as well to some of them. But anyway, I did notice that there were a small fight somewhere, at least for a moment. That could of course be... Well, there were a fight here between Drexler, I believe that is, shortcutting the chicane ahead of Pascal Mikula, and Eyvind Andersen just a little bit up the road. Let's ride on board a lap with Pascal Mikula here and listen to this beautiful engine, and if you want to talk at all, Pascal, feel free to do so.
That was easy.
Big lockup from Michael Drexler there to explain, to elaborate on Pascal's comment on it being easy.
Yeah, well. Didn't expect that to happen, but well, Gave me 8th place.
Was Pascal now shortcuts the chicane as well? Looks like he has a car really close behind him as well. Well, sort of. Well, let's look a bit further up the grid. It looks like Thruxton and David Saber was about to end up in a fight, but it was just a braking going on. Jonatan has cleared Grant Vidal here and opened up a bit of a gap to him. So it looks like it's again a very spread out race right here. Let's see, Richard Coxon has currently made his way up into 10th position, so he has 1 point secured at this point in time. But it's still not enough, I think, to keep the championship alive. But he is quickly closing up on Mikael Drexler here to take 9th away from the BMW driver.
Oh, the slip's too strong with this one.
So let's jump back up here. Oh, as Pascal has a small look up the inside into the club chicane, but backs out of it by the looks of things.
That's all planned.
I wonder. Anyway, a good bit of driving there, but a bit of understeer going through Allard, but just doesn't lose too much time to the Carina up ahead. Oh, and a bit on the grass there, but all is good. Let's see, it looks like a bit of extra track space used. But Pascal isn't close enough this time to try and look up the inside of Owen Anderson by the looks of things, but he gets right up his bumper going through the chicane. Oh, and maybe even a bit of contact there.
That was contact. That was a little bit of contact.
But still, I even held on to it, so all is good, I think. And right behind him we can see that Coxon is really closing in on Mikael Drexler now, as Drexler closes in on the privateer battle up ahead. As Coxon runs a little bit deep. This is a great place to watch from, because we can see the battle between Pascal and Eivind up ahead. Looks like Pascal is up the inside at Noble, but he ain't able to keep it up the inside there, so Eivind holds on to the position for the time being. Nice little battle between those two. As Drexler got very close to notching the grass there and ending off the road. But it looks like Pascal got up the inside at Church, but Eivind is going for the cutback. Let's see who has the strongest engine. Eivind had a better run by the looks of things, and maybe a bit better engine, who knows, but it is a 2-year-old. Oh, sideways is Pascal, but he's able to hold on to it, and he keeps it on the track through the chicane. Wow, God in heaven, dear me. That looked very scary, but everyone got through it, and it's now more or less a 4-way duel for 7th place overall.
I didn't even have my finger in my hands at that moment.
Yep, as Drexler looks up the inside. Bit of door handle to door handle racing here. And Coxon almost notching the rear end of Drexler going through Seagrave, but Drexler has the inside at Noble, so he should be able to hold on to it. but Coxon goes full throttle round outside. And I think he got a position there. He did indeed. That's a fantastic move on his part. And he will now try to dispense some Pascal Mikula. So a quick look up the grid. Still status quo by the looks of things. And let's have a quick look behind as well. And as Philippe Martinelli has some heavy damage and he retires on the spot. He has had an off somewhere before, lost his rear wing, so presumably he turns into turn 1 and the rear end swaps around on him here. It does indeed, and he... okay, so he decided that was enough for him, so that's very unfortunate, but oh well, back to the battle here. As Coxon goes up the inside of Pascal Mikula, and Pascal backs out of it and lets Coxon has to... he goes up the inside though. But Coxon holds on to the position and Coxon is up to 7th. Was up on 2 wheels is Pascal Mikula, but he gets it back on 4 wheels, but Drexler takes advantage and goes by. So that's 3 turns and Pascal is down 2 positions, unfortunately, but still some good racing left to go in this race, I believe. We are about halfway through. This looks like Øyvind takes the defensive line, but Coxon goes around outside the church, holds it on the track. Øyvind gives him a good bit of room to allow him to run around outside, and good bit of racing there. As Pascal has gotten by Mikael Drexler in the meantime. A bit of contact down the straight. Drexler had a bit of an overlap, but bit of contact, I suppose, is alright. As Drexler shortcuts the chicane while Mikula runs wide. Drexler may send it up the inside here. He has a bit of a look, but nothing comes of it. As Øyvind runs wide up ahead. As Øyvind is sideways, as is Mikula. Drexler takes avoiding action. And Øyvind went straight ahead at the complex, but looks like it's more or less status quo in position-wise, so well, everything going on here by the looks of things. Wow. As Mikula runs a little bit wide at Goodwood, but he makes it back onto the track without further issues, so he takes a lot of the inside at Church by the looks of things, runs very wide, as does Drexler to be fair in this part of running wide.
It's understeering right now because my left tires are overheating.
Okay, then presumably everyone else will have some kind of similar issue. Very aggressive driving from Drexler through the chicane. I don't think his virtual back will be very happy after this race. I've seen him take that line quite a few times. As Mikula looks up the inside just a little bit at Campbell, but he ain't able to make the move stick. Looks like Drexler is suffering from a little bit of understeer as well. But the rear wheel drive is clearly helping him to get some good lines anyway. Let's quickly have a look on the overall standings. Blom is still in the lead now, 8.5 seconds ahead of Jan Tits. Grant Vidal is in 3rd, having dropped a lot of time. I think he may have run into some kind of issue. Jakob Thruxton is only 1.5 seconds behind Vidal in 4th. And 5th is David Saber, leading the total cup.
Yes.
With Dave Simmons right behind him, and that can only mean one thing coming from Pascal, that he is taking the position from Øyvind Andersen. So let's have a quick look at this, see what transpired. Øyvind had a bit of a loose moment, and nice little cut back there, just about avoiding hitting Øyvind's rear bumper, and Pascal got through. Nice little move
He
there.
seems to be having some kind of locking problems in the first chicane too, because he's getting really loose there. That's getting really scary to watch in the mirror when he's behind him.
Yeah. Coxon is laying 7th. He could possibly make it up into 5th position, so the championship may still be open if he makes it there, but I'm not entirely sure. Mikula is 8th, fighting with Andersen in 9th and Drexler in 10th. Miroslav Havlik is 11th with Svenja Tits 12th and Peter Lovac 2 laps down in 13th. And our retirees so far is Frank de Chaven, Philippe Martinelli, Richard Wilkes, Juha Boos, Ray Ridal and Matthias Weber. So that's unfortunate, but racing is still going on, and some good racing it is, especially here for 8th, 9th and 10th. Åcerclinth again has a bit of a loose moment going into turn 2.
I think he should put his brake bias a little bit to the front.
Well, he should, but maybe his 2-year-old Toyota Carina doesn't allow for that. I'm not entirely sure, because I haven't driven the Toyota Carina enough to give that a try to change the brake bias. Either that, or he needs to be braking just a little bit earlier and a bit lighter to avoid locking up the rears. But it looks like Grant Ridal is catching up to Jan Tits here, so Grant is flying at the moment, looking for 2nd position in this race as he decides to shortcut the first complex. And David Saber is actually still holding on to the rear bumper of Jakob Fredriksson. Fredriksson haven't been able to pull away too much from David Saber, but Dave Simmons is holding a good gap to Richard Coxon, so I think Coxon will only make it up into 7th, but that's still a very good recovery drive, considering he was upside down for bits of this race. That was a look from Mikael Drexler up the inside of Raymond Andersen going into turn 1. Up on 2 wheels went Drexler out of Seagrave and almost had a spin trying to recover from that 2-wheel situation.
Grant Ridal has retired. I don't know why, I don't know when, but he has.
Wow, that's news indeed. Let's see if we can find him. There he is. It looks like he will have an... Oh dearie me! Wow!
Ray Ridal has retired too. Maybe they had an accident, I don't know.
Ray Ridal retired very early, but Grant Ridal looks like he had an understeer moment going out of the last chicane. Ended up on the grass and hit the retaining barrier covering an access road right on the exit there. That sent him into the inside pit wall, and unfortunately he is out of this race.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, that means that David Saber is now up into 4th position. Dave Simmons is up into 5th. Richard Coxon has now made his way up into 6th position. 7th for Pascal Mikula, having created a bit of a gap between him and the other 2 fellows. 8th for Øyvind Andersen. 9th for Mikael Drexler. 10th for Miroslav Havlik. 11th for Svenja Tits. And in a couple of laps time it'll be 12th for Peter Lovac. But Peter Blom has a massive lead here and is having a nice run on his final lap of this event. So the white flag has been out for half a lap here. My apologies for not keeping up, but I hope you can forgive me considering the action that's been going on throughout the field. As he heads into the club chicane for the final time of the evening and the season. We have one more round, I think, after this one at Silverstone. But Peter Blom crosses the finish line and takes the win. So congratulations to Peter once again for taking the win. And here comes Jan Tits heading onto the start-finish straight to take second in this race. As he crosses the finish line, third, if he can survive the last chicane, will be Jakob Fredriksson. Maybe not quite how he wanted another podium here, but he gets third. David Saber takes the win in the Privateer Cup race and gets fourth overall. Dave Simmons, just by the looks of things, is going to hold on to fifth position ahead of Richard Coxon. So Dave Simmons fifth, Coxon sixth. Pascal Mikula is heading into the club chicane here with lights on. Hopefully he'll be able to survive the chicane here. Ooh, just about. Can he hold on to the start-finish line? Oh, that's a chopping off move. But he holds on to sixth position, and David shows his displeasure with the chopping move there, which I suppose is fair enough considering what it looked like on the broadcast. But anyway, seventh place for Pascal Mikula, 8th for Eivind Andersen, 9th for Mikael Drexler, 10th for Miroslav Havlik, 11th by the looks of things will be Svenja Tits. Don't know if she has finished yet or not. Looks like she has indeed, so Svenja Tits gets 12th. Sorry, 11th and 12th for Peter Lavak. So as Richard says, I think the championship overall is also done now. So if so, congratulations to Peter Blom for a double race win and the championship. And also congratulations again to Dave Simmons, who managed to pick up the championship in the Total Cup. So while we wait for people to join up, we'll take a quick break and listen to...
User joined your channel.
Actually, we won't listen to some music. We'll instead welcome Peter Blom into the booth and congratulate you on a double race win. And from what was being said on the server, congratulations on the championship.
Oh, thank you. Well, for the championship, I still have to see the points. I don't know them from my head, but second race was pretty easy. I don't know what happened with Richard Coxon, but I think he got bumped off in the second corner.
Not entirely sure either. I just saw him rolling, so not entirely sure what happened. Yeah. But
well, I made a better start in the second race, and only Jan went in front of me, of course. But I could keep the other front wheel drives behind me. Then Jan let me pass quite easily, and I drove away from them. And for the rest, nothing really to say. And if I have enough points for the championship, then I also want to thank Gregoire Goyson for his setup. He gave me his setup after the previous race at Thruxton. You might remember I had really problems with heating tires all the time in my first few races. Tires.
I do remember that, and I also mentioned that that Greg helped you after a few rounds coming into this event.
I had a few races after each other where I only finished like 5th, 6th, or 7th, or 6th. Championship was a long way from home, and then Greg was happy to help me with the setup, and shame he could not be here. I don't know what happened to him, but I also want to thank him for his help.
That's very gracious of you, thanking him. And looking back on the championship, I know we have one round to go, I think, at Silverstone.
Silverstone?
Yeah.
No,
sorry, Donington is the final round. My apologies.
Yeah.
I am into the modern day races where Silverstone is the final round. The late 90s where Silverstone was the final round. But Donington is the is the final round of the championship. So how do you rate your chances there?
Donington, I can remember on the first race I had a really good race. I had one race win and one race I think I came in 5th or something after an accident. But well, I don't know. Donington is a great track for racing, and I think also the slower cars like Matthias and Jakob have a chance to fight for the lead. I think there.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that point. I believe I know that Rickard Swania won in the Nissan in the opening round at Donington. So
no, he came home second 2 times. He had 1 pole position, I can remember. Jan won 1 race, I think, and
yes.
I won 1 race.
Yes, my apologies. Yeah, you're right.
He was very fast. That's so.
Yeah, that's why I thought he won won at least one of the races there. But yeah, and Pascal, I know you had a bad first race, but the second race looked like you had a good bit of fun and got a 7th place in the end, so I'd assume you're happy.
Yep, it was fun, it was exciting, it was... Okay, well, the end was a little bit... I mean, in terms of the last corner, it was a little bit unconventional, I would just say. But yeah, it was really cool. It was really, really cool. I already forgot most of it. It was 5 minutes ago.
Well, that's
all I can remember. The last thing the only really thing I can remember is at first Michael going wide, me taking it, and then, you know, doing my comment. Well, that was easy. Then Oyvind locking up and me going through, and well, then that last corner, you say, oh, hopefully he'll survive it, and as you say it, I almost flipped the car.
So apologies for the commentator's curse there, but
yeah, that's.
I had to commentate on it since that was what we were watching at the time.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, maybe my mind was like, let's just put on a final show or something, but that almost went horribly wrong. And well, I kinda blocked Oyvind off brutally at them, which I don't think I should have done in that extent, but I mean, he got his revenge into me by ramming me at the end when we crossed the finish line. So yeah, great race overall, and I don't know, maybe I'll be able to participate in the last race too. Not quite sure, but I hope.
You can definitely hope so, because it's nice to see the grid filled up.
Also, I kinda hope that I'll have a better car.
Well, you did finish 7th, so the car can't be complete rubbish, though.
That's true. But you know, there are better cars in the field.
Very true indeed. But yeah, let's hope that you can make it, because it's nice to see the grid filled up. And when you can provide some good action, like in the second race, it's even better. So with that, I think we will cap off the evening. Big thank yous to Pascal Mikula for joining me during the races and helping me commentate a little bit, and Peter for joining us between the races and after the second race. And again, congratulations, Peter, for your double race win and possibly securing the championship. And also, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you.
And also, big congratulations to Dave Simmons, who secured the Total Cup for Independence Championship after the first race when he finished. So with that, thank you very much for tuning in, and in a couple of weeks' time we will be broadcasting the final round at Donington. But I would also like to remind you actually that the third round of the Kart 1988 Championship will take place
This Sunday.
on Sunday indeed.
Yeah, actually at the Milwaukee Mile, because we rescheduled Indianapolis to round 4. So also kind of an important reminder, in my opinion at least. Sorry that I interrupted you there, Jonatan, but you know, the Milwaukee Mile, Bob Wilson's home track, so maybe also we will pay some honors to him before the race.
We have something in the works for that, but yeah, we will be racing at Milwaukee on Sunday.
And the week after that, the 18th of June, will be the date of the great race of the Indianapolis 500.
It will indeed, because of issues with the circuit and the server combined, I believe. The Indianapolis 500 couldn't be run on its original date, so instead they moved it and moved another event, and the race will, as Pascal said here, take place on the 18th of June in 1.5 weeks time. Within that race will of course also be broadcasted. But until Sunday, when I'll be in the booth yet again, thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed the evening's races. And yeah, have a good time until Sunday.
Thank you, mate.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Sound muted.